everything becomes like instinct. So you get hit and you just come back right after. So someone hits me, my reaction is just to like come right back at them to get that point back. So she hits me with one, I'm gonna hit her with two. She hits me with three, I'm gonna hit her with five. So that's like what's going on in the ring. So you never think about like how bad it could be getting at all. My name is Christina Cruz. I'm from New York City, born and raised. I am 35 years old. I started boxing about 13 years ago, came into it very, very late, and just took it from there. Like, the second I walked in the gym, it was just like, it was like, oh. What drew me to boxing was the competitive spirit. Like, the second I walked into the boxing gym, like, just seeing everyone working so hard and being so competitive kind of gave me this drive to just like be like that, to not listen to what anybody says, especially the negative things. Being a female in a male dominant sport, you always get these critics like, oh, women shouldn't be fighting, you're gonna break your face, you're gonna break your nose. I think my face is okay. I do need a nose job when it's over, but I'll wait. Yeah, so I mean, just to like ignore the noise and do what you love, you know? Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it because you're this or you're that or whatever. So yeah, I fell in love with it immediately, and the trainer that I was training with at the time, he saw how fast I was picking up on it because growing up I was a tomboy, so I already played sports. I grew up with two brothers and my dad, so I was able to pick up on like physical things very fast. And he was like, "Let's compete," and I was like, "Okay." Throw me in there, and he threw me in there, and I got a few fights. I fought in like a tournament in New York, did very, very well. And then a year later, they took me to nationals with the U.S. national championships, and I ended up winning, not knowing what I just did. And then from that point, after I won it, my coach was like, "You're on the United States team now." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yes, you're gonna represent Team USA now for the next year." And I was like, "No way." And then from that like point on, I started taking it more serious. So in Olympic style boxing, we fight in tournaments, and it's bracket style tournaments. So you can fight up to 3 to 5 times in one week. So this is how it is. It's you wake up, you weigh in, you fight. After you fight, you're back in the gym the same day, like right after you fight, and you're making weight for the next day. So you're like dehydrating yourself again more than you already are. And then you repeat the next day. Every day you just repeat that process. And by the time you get to the third fight, it's just like very mental from there. Whereas in the pros, you fight once every few months. So you fight in the pros. You could fight from a 4 round fight to a 12 round fight in the pros, and then have 2 months off until your next. It's funny because I was just talking to someone about this. Like, a lot of times, fighters or people think they're sacrificing something for what they love, but it's really not sacrifice. So, like, this is what gets me through. What gets me through, like, the hard training, 6 days a week, 3 to 6 hours a day, is that I want to do it. So I'm not really sacrificing anything. I'm doing what I love to do, you know? And you hear like fighters say it all the time. Oh, I sacrificed this and I sacrificed that for the sport. But the truth is, that's what you want to do. So how is it a sacrifice? You know what I mean? Again, like, I grew up playing sports, very competitive since I was a little kid with my brothers. Just I played every sport you can name it, like any city sport you can name: basketball, baseball, football. And I've always just had that competitive drive to try to like be the best at it. So that's how it is with boxing as well. So, like, one of my hardest moments was losing at the Olympic trials and trying to pick myself back up to do another quad, another 4 years. And I mean, it didn't take much, but it always hurts, like, knowing that you trained so hard. And for Olympic trials, I got a bronze medal, so I came very close. And the person who won it is someone I actually beat twice, but we didn't actually match up in the brackets. So it's always there. I put it behind me and I keep going, but at the moment and during that time, it's just like, man, do I like keep doing this, or do I just start to transition out? And I decided to stay and go for it another 4 years. that competitive like spirit in me just like, no, I have to try one more time. I'm still very young. I'm young enough to do it again. And I know if I didn't, that I it would be always there, you know? It would be always in the back of my head, and I don't want that. And whatever the results are in 2020 at Olympic trials, I'm okay with it because I tried. But if I don't try one more time, I don't think I would be okay with it. So I do wellness coaching. So I help people kind of take back their life through health and fitness. Because I believe when you're not feeling the best inside, like, how are you going to be the best at work? How are you going to be the best at with your family? How are you going to be the best at anything if you're not like physically and mentally in shape? When I'm in training camp at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, it's a little different. So again, wake up, do my morning routine, but it's 3 workouts a day rather than two. And in between, it's recovery. It's seeing the sports psychologist. It's whatever I have to do to get through that camp because it's really hard. Okay, so I mean, when you're not a boxer, like getting hit in the face, you think of it as the worst thing ever. But when your adrenaline is sky high, you do not feel that at all. So I talk about this a lot. I talk about it over social media because this is what I love about sport and like um boxing is that when you're in there you find this like flow, like it's almost like you're in another world, like you're on drugs or whatever. I can't even explain it. But when I'm in there, I get into this flow where nothing matters, just me and what's going on in that ring with the other person in front of me. And I kind of get into that state of flow where it feels like I'm dancing. That's exactly how it feels. It feels like I'm dancing, and I'm just like, oh, I could feel it, but it's hard for me to explain. But it's nothing else matters. You don't hear anything. I fought in Madison Square Garden. I fought at the Barclays Center in front of thousands of people. I fought in like big arenas, and I don't hear anything. The only thing I can hear is my trainer's voice and my glove against that person's face. The whole flow thing, I can't explain it right now, but I will the next time we talk. It's just like hard to put it together because it's more of like a feeling that I feel inside.